Well, welcome back to another edition of 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, and we got a rather obscure one to check out today. A 1951 film called Mad Dog Coll, based on the gangster of that era. It starred John Chandler, aka John Davis Chandler, in his first and only starring role as Mad Dog Coll. And it opens up with Mr. Chandler as Coll approaching his father's grave and blowing the headstone apart with a machine gun, because it seems like Vincent Coll was abused as a child and called a mama's boy in this film. And this film chronicles his rise to power and going against another mob kingpin, Dutch Schultz. But the more fun thing about this film is, as crazy as it is and as over the top as it is, it featured several debuts, acting debuts here. Gene Hackman as an uncredited cop. Telly Savalas in his first film role as a detective, which is the template for his Kojak character. And of course John Davis Chandler, and like I said, his only starring role. And this one, it was Columbia put it out. It's sort of, it's got a weird opening because all the credits and all the, the images of the people in it are like a negative on the credits. And like I said, it chronicles the whole rise and fall of the gang. And some other guys that are basically in this thing that are interesting is Vincent Gardenia as Dutch Schultz, and Jerry Orbach as the guy who basically has had enough of Vincent Coll's madness and basically sets him up for a hit at the end. So right now this thing's on Tubi, but I think it's running out. I don't know if it's available on a DVD or anything like that. It did look really fucking good on Tubi though. Like I say, this was Chandler's only starring role. Later on he would be in another one in 1961 playing a juvenile delinquent in Young Savages. You know, I fucked up. That Mad Dog Coll was 1961. I'm sorry, it was 1951. Yeah, so the thing was that John Davis Chandler could play a sleazebag with a great deal of conviction, and that seemed to be his motif for the rest of his career. He did show up in Sam Peckinpah's Ride to High Country as the unstable Johnny Hammond, and also was in a couple other Peckinpah films, most notably Major Dundee and Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. He did a ton of westerns, and like I said, he always played a sleazy character. He was in The Good Guys and Bad Guys with Robert Mitchum and George Kennedy, Barquero with Lee Van Cleef and Warren Oates, and he was one of the bounty hunters in Clint Eastwood's The Outlaw Josie Wales. He was also a big favorite of director William Griffey from down in Florida, because Billy used him in The Hook Generation and Mako Jaws of Death. And when Neville Brand became ill and couldn't fulfill his role on Whiskey Mountain, Bill called up John Davis Chandler, and without even asking for money up front, hopped on a plane and flew out and became part of the movie. So all in all, John was a pretty stand-up guy. And he sort of had regrets that he could never play a straight character. A makeup guy named Dean Gates told me that he had a conversation with John that he really wanted to play a straight role, but nobody would buy him in it. Toward the end of his career, he started doing some horror films like Trancers 2, Phantasm 3, Carnosaur 2, and Crash and Burn, another Charles Band film. His last screen appearance, I think, was on Deep Space Nine in 1998. Unfortunately, he passed away from complications due to cancer at age 75. But as far as great character actors and great heavies, John Davis Chandler is one of the best. And if you can catch Mad Dog Coll, it showcased the early sneering, leering, bug-eyed psychopath that would become his stock in trade. So that's our show for today. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the flip side.